next on the plaza, it sounds real official. Next on the plaza is Eugene Young, the director of Delaware State Housing Authority, is here to talk about, I was going to say events again, programs that DSHA that they have throughout the state of Delaware. Yes. Eugene, thanks for coming.
No, thank you for having me. I just want to say it's just amazing how far you guys have grown.
Thank you.
We were just a little bit talking about it beforehand, but I remember when you were riding around in the white van, 100% positive, 100% of the time, all time positive, something like that. But it's been a beautiful thing just to be here in the studio and just to witness the growth, the team that is here. I'm just truly thankful to be here.
No, I'm glad to be here. Yes. Eugene was one of the voices in my head that I didn't really even know him when we first, but we kept just crossing paths and saying, yo, I need to talk to you, I need to talk to you. And then we started talking, and Eugene, sometimes when you get discouraged, right, God will send somebody to just give you a little nudge, right?
That's right.
And I'm getting out the van, and Eugene and I are talking, and he says, I don't care what you do, right? He said, but make us look good.
Oh.
Always make us look, and that has been a big piece, a big part of fuel in everything that I do, is because, and when us is Delaware, us is Wilmington, us is black and brown people, us are white people, us is make us look good. And that has been from the quality of our shows to the content of our shows to the information. And speaking of information, like this right here, this makes us look good. Like what is, you recently, was it 2 years now?
Yeah, don't put that much time on me. It's been a year.
It's been a year?
It'll be a year, August 2nd.
Okay.
I've been at the Delaware State Housing Authority, and it's been a whirlwind. It's been it's a beautiful opportunity to help out families when it comes to issues of housing, affordable housing at that. And so we have a variety of things that we're working on, two of which are the mortgage assistance program that we have and the rental assistance program. Many people are already familiar with the rental assistance program. It provides up to $2,000 per month in rent assistance for those who are in need.
Wow.
And it goes by, it's like every 90 days you apply or recertify rather.
Right.
And so we've been able to get that out, and that's been able to change a lot of lives up and down our state.
Yes.
These are dollars that have come through the federal government that they've given out to all the states. And they've put kind of like a timeline of, for us, it's going to be around 2023 when the program will come to a kind of like a close. But we've been able to keep eviction rates down.
And especially during COVID.
During COVID, yeah, absolutely. So I'll give an example. For the last year, roughly a year now, in the state of Delaware, we would normally average, before COVID, we would average between around 200 and 320 evictions a week. So before COVID, it was around 200, 320 evictions per week. Since we've been able to get out this rental assistance, over last year, we have not had a week over 49 people evicted.
Wow.
And so so you go from around 1,200 odd evictions approximately to under 200, never being above 200 in a month. So it changes the dynamic. It helps to keep people in their homes, which is most important, and it kind of dovetails into the mortgage assistance program that we're kicking off to do the same thing, keeping people in their homes.
Now let's talk about that program.
Yes.
Because people are they're like this right now.
Yes. So we've received $50 million from the federal government to work with homeowners who may be, if you're at least 30 days behind, at least essentially 1 month behind in your mortgage. And it's happened between now and I would say January 1st, 2020. We can provide some assistance. We've up to $40,000, and we can provide it in two ways. One way is actually working to restructure the loan so that you have I'll give an example. You have, I know a woman who lost her husband from COVID, right? And so that income that she had before is no longer there.
Right.
And so just giving a grant to her would not necessarily be the move because it would help out for a couple months, but she doesn't have her husband anymore.
Right.
And so you can work in restructuring the loan so that it's a lower
Interest rate?
lower rate, or just bringing the amount of monthly payments down, so that it's affordable for the individual in the situation that's in there now. Or it could be someone that said, look, I was working at a restaurant for 10 months I was out of work, and so I'm 10 months behind, or X amount of months behind. And this can be almost like a shot in the arm, in a sense, in saying, look, we can provide a grant of up to $10,000 to help that family or help that household move forward.
Right.
So we just kicked off this program over the last 30 days. We're trying to just be as aggressive as heavily possible in connecting with families.
And you have to be. You have to be, like you said, COVID really affected everyone, every single person. And you've been doing this. Well, not you, but the organization has been doing this for a long time, even before COVID.
Absolutely.
But COVID really hit everyone.
Indeed.
Tremendously. And the fact that you're able to provide support, even if it's a couple of months, to help people breathe.
Absolutely.
Because that's what it's coming down to. They can't breathe anymore. They're drowning, and then with inflation and the economy and the pricing of everything has gone up.
Absolutely.
Just people trying to catch up. That's all. I mean, I feel it. That's all. I feel it. I can only speak for myself. I feel like I'm always playing catch up. Catch up, and I can't even imagine not being able to provide for my family.
Indeed.
I don't have a family yet, but I couldn't imagine that feeling, and I know it's a terrible feeling. So for you to be able to help families, give them that, that chance to breathe again, really does a lot for their mental state.
Indeed.
And I'm sure you see that firsthand.
Indeed, we have this rental assistance program and this mortgage assistance program have both really. My goal is to, the overall goal of Delaware State Housing Authority is to help provide quality, affordable housing throughout our state, right?
Yes.
But with the troubled times of COVID-19, the organization, Delaware State Housing Authority, and shout out to the previous director, Anas Ben Adi, who's at Delaware State University now, but we were able to step up and meet the needs. So Delaware was the first state in the country to provide rental assistance.
Wow.
The first state in the country when times got tough, and it's typical like Delaware fashion, right? Where a bunch of banks, nonprofits, foundations get together and say, we need to provide something for the residents of our state to help those who are in need, right? And so we were able to provide, first state in the country to provide rental assistance. But fast forward to today, we see this as a very specific need, because you still have people that are trying, you have people that have lost family members, people that are, you have family members that are in the hospital or have not been able to kind of get back on their feet, in a sense, as you were saying. And so we want to do everything that we can with the federal dollars that we receive in order to meet the need. But also, one thing I would even say as well is COVID has also impacted our state from another perspective, where, because of COVID, you have so many families, so many people from our local area, from New York, Philadelphia, Maryland, DC, that have realized that I do not like paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. In the case of New York City, their median rent has last week come to $5,000 a month.
Insane.
And so they said, you know what, I'm working from home half the time anyway. I want to move to Delaware, where it may be cheaper, cheaper cost of living, quality schools. So that's why we're having this huge growth within our state. In particular areas of Sussex County, people wanted to move and be near the beach.
Right.
My wife and I were watching, don't judge me, House Hunters, or was it one of those shows? And they literally had a family looking at units at Bethany Beach. Like a lot of people are moving to our state.
Yeah.
And so what's happening is, which is a good thing. We love the fact that more people are moving.
Yes.
But it also pushes us as a state to focus on how do we just get more units available to community members up and down the state. It's not just like a Newcastle County thing. These are issues that are going on in Sussex County as well, where there's just not enough housing to continue with the commerce that's needed, the infrastructure that's needed, because people are needed on the eastern side of Sussex to work at the restaurants and all the different service centers, but people can't afford to live there, or they can't find places except on the west side of Sussex. So how do we bridge those connections.
Yeah, let's get back over it. I want to talk about the project outcomes, like
Yeah.
with these 2 projects that you got going on.
Absolutely.
Like, what are the outcomes with it, the success with it?
So we've been able, so on the rental assistance side, we've been able to provide, each week, we provide around $1 to $2 million of rental assistance.
Each week.
Each week.
Wow.
Last week alone, we did $2 million.
Wow.
In rental assistance to the people of our state. We've served over, I would say, 11,000 families or households on the rental assistance side.
Okay.
And as I said earlier, we've been able to keep evictions far lower than anyone would expect or believe, right? On the mortgage assistance side, since we've just started, we haven't seen as much of the outcomes and numbers. But what we do believe is we should see a drop in foreclosures. We do believe this can also help stabilize neighborhoods as well, because one of the big things is the more times you have like foreclosures and sheriff sales in neighborhoods, it can sometimes be the deteriorating factor in many of those of said communities. So our goal is in such a fork in the road time like this is how do we keep our community and family members in their home. And this is something that impacts, and I'm be very frank and honest, it impacts all of us.
Right.
You know, this is like is I'm not immune because I'm at the Delaware State Housing Authority. Like I have family members, close family members that are dealing with issues like this.
Right.
And so for me, our job at DSHA is to work and connect and meet the needs of the people outside of our doors, the Delawareans, and those who we're here to work for.
You mentioned something about the keeping families in their homes.
Absolutely.
Because if they're being evicted, that's not only hurting the neighborhoods, it's hurting the local restaurants, the local businesses, the small businesses within the neighborhoods and the communities. It's like a domino effect. So we need to keep these families safe in their homes and making sure that they're able to survive, because it only trickles down to all the businesses in the community and everybody around. Because if people are being evicted and the business that's right up the street and there's nobody living in those homes, the business will then shut down. So yes, you're right, it does affect neighborhoods tremendously, and what you're doing at the Delaware Housing Authority is tremendous. Tremendous. And it takes a strong leader to keep moving forward.
Another
such
cog
as
in the wheel.
yourself, Eugene.
Another cog in the wheel. Another cog. I'm thankful for it.
Yes.
So real quick, let's. I want to talk about. I know we got a couple minutes left, right? I want to talk about like what qualifies for the rental assistance, because I don't want people just think, oh, I don't feel like paying it today, because I know you get. Okay, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. But let's talk about the people that are really sitting at home and wondering how do I qualify?
Right.
So first thing I would say is feel free to go to our website DEStatehousing.com. That's DEStatehousing.com. Second thing is you would just have to provide documentation about, you would have to have your landlord. What's unique about the rental assistance is you have to have your landlord fill out information. You have to then fill out information because here's the, no good deed goes unpunished. And I'm not saying this as just a Delaware thing, but there's a lot of people from in-state and out of state that are trying to take advantage of the system. And so that's why we make the landlord have to send their information, also the tenant as well. But you have to be around 75% of area median income. You also have to be able to show, working with the landlord, the losses that of not being able to pay rent, and so that we can pay that said back rent. And you have to make, they call them attestation statements around loss of income, things of that nature. You have to provide income. We will have, so I don't want to dive too much into it now, and I would just say people to apply, because what's going to happen is within the next, I would say 60 days, we're going to have to kind of change the program to meet federal guidelines, because we're going to have to tighten it up a little so that it could be more specific to those who are like really, really in need. Right now, it's very much a wide net. Like I said, you have to be around 75-80% of the area median income and show, loss and be able to show different papers of working with your landlord. But as we move forward, it's going to change a little. On the mortgage assistance side, if you actually go to our website, we have a whole checklist of things that you would need to bring. But on the mortgage assistance side, we actually help in providing assistance for taxes associated with the property, water, sewer, things of that nature, homeowner association fees that are kind of also incumbent upon the homeowner. So we help in that perspective, but you would need to show additional documentation over that on that side as well. You would have to show the fact that you may not have been able to pay for at least the last 30 days, that it was impacted because of COVID, things of that nature. But if you go on our website, destatehousing.com, it'll give a laundry list once you click in around the COVID relief, around how you can make sure that you qualify.
So not only are you providing resources and support, but also support in a way that you'll help individuals go through the paperwork?
Yes.
Because I always believe the application process is the hardest.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have 15 community navigators throughout the state. So every county, almost every major town, city. We're here in the studio right now. There's about 3 of them close to us, from the Metropolitan Wilmington Urban League to the LACC, West End Neighborhood House. So if you go to any of these sites, they will help you file the paperwork, and so that you're good to go. And so they work as like a intermediary between the individual filing the paperwork and our agency. We normally take around 60, 70 days in order to get an application through. We have to, here's the realness of it, we have to sift through there's a lot of fraudulent claims that we get claims from out of the country, right? You get bank accounts from, all over the place.
You get that IG inbox talking about, hey, I'm gonna need some help. Can you cash out?
Like you get it all. And so
but you're doing the job that needs to be done, and that is to sift through the fraudulent applications and the fake ones to make sure that the people that really do need support and help and those funds will get that.
Absolutely. We on November, I think it was 22nd of last year, we received 4,000 applications in one day.
Wow.
So, and I don't think 4,000 people from the state of Delaware just decided to apply in one day. So we have to be very, as you said, we have a fiduciary duty to make sure this money is spent properly and we're transparent along in this process. And so we have to do everything to make sure that we're able to do so. So it may take a little longer on the application side, but bear with us. So it keeps more money that we can give out, and that we're not giving out to
the wrong people.
Yes. Understood.
Thank you.
Indeed. So Eugene, community camera, right? You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Take 45. Tell everybody whatever you want them to know, DSHA, that you want them to know about the programs and how to get in contact.
So I would just like to thank you all for having me. Thank you, DETV, Good Morning Wilmington, for having me here. DSHA, we're here to help you in providing quality, affordable housing and meeting some of your housing needs overall. Please visit our website at destatehousing.com for more information on both the programs, the mortgage assistance program, the rental assistance program. We believe that, it's your roots, R-O-O-T-S, that determine your routes, your R-O-U-T-E-S. So we want to help in strengthening the roots of the people and the households and the families of our state to have stronger routes that the children and many of the adults can go and live quality, productive, life-fulfilling lives. So I just want to thank you all, and feel free to reach out, destatehousing.com, and thank you again, DETV.
Appreciate you, good brother.
Thank you, always good.
All right, so you always got it, now you got the key to the kingdom, right? You always have to stop by and tell us and update the community on what's going on how DSHA.
It's a tongue twister.
on how you guys can help the community. Because, we have that huge following now.
Yes,
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. Went from a white van, jumping out, to now suits and studios.
Do you remember? So a lot of people, we got time. Okay. So remember during COVID, the riot?
Yes.
And I turned the corner and I saw you. Everyone's like, Ivan, I remember you was out there. I'm like, brother, it wasn't just me out there. It was Wolfie that was out there.
Yes.
It was Eugene out there. And Wolfie and Eugene were out there escorting kids away from the riot. And it was like, I come around the corner and they're there in the middle of the street. Like, come here, come on. You got to go home. Like, it's something, because you see people all the time when the cameras are on, right, and what they're doing. but you know, you are who you are when the cameras are off. Wolfie, you know, Daryl Chambers and Eugene Young. When I turned that corner, we're out there escorting them young kids away from the riot. Like, you don't belong to be here. Go home. Come on, where do you live at? It was an awesome thing to see, right?
It was a variety. You're right. It was a variety of people out there during that period of time. Kyle Shepard, Wolfie, a whole host of people that care about community, including yourself. So, absolutely. Always good, brother.
Always
Indeed.
good.
Gene,
All right. For more information about DSHA, what website?
DEStatehousing.com.
All right. And as for Eugene, tell him Ivan sent you and Vincenzo sent you. What's up, everyone? It's your main man, Big Ivan, the talk of the town, Mr. DETVCH.com, and I'm here with my wonderful and amazing co-host,
Vincenza.
We just stopped by to tell you to be sure, if you want any information on what's going on in Wilmington and to meet some dynamic people doing some amazing and great things, be sure to watch us live on Good Morning Wilmington on Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 p.m.
Oh, Ivan, 10 a.m.
Which he said, 10 a.m.
Listen to me. That's why he has me here. But yes, tune in live, 10 a.m. Monday and Wednesday on Good Morning Wilmington.
DETVCH.com.